Finding more book reviews. It has been a while since I put something together about book reviews, and seeing as this is my 10th year spent indie published, I have learned a thing or two about finding them. Up to very recently, reviews have been coming in for books that I released some years ago, and this is something I'm incredibly proud of. Many of us in the author realm do feel that struggle of finding reviews, and some even argue they are harder to find than sales. So let us dive in to finding more book reviews. Awareness is key. A big-time realization shortly after being published for me was the absolute struggle and uphill battle it is to find reviews. Because we kind of have that unique insider knowledge of what it's like to struggle, as authors, there are plenty of readers who simply don't think to leave reviews. I'll admit, before I was published, leaving reviews for Stephen King, Michael Crichton, and so forth was an afterthought. So it is our responsibility to tell readers that reviews are important to us. Here's a short list of what I've done, and still do, to spread that review awareness. Include a message at the end of every one of my books to say that reviews are important. Put out a weekly post on social media about reviews being important. Sharing any reviews I do receive multiple times on social media and include a thank you. Share reviews that I write for books in multiple formats and reshare them multiple times. Being an indie author means that I have full control of my manuscripts, so I can easily amend my message by reminding readers to leave reviews and then even add new review quotes to the back and front matter. The final part of point number 4 is important. Sharing things over multiple times really helps. Stay active and present on social media. As a social media present author, I'm always posting something book-related online, and this eventually brings in interest. One of the big reasons why my older titles are still being reviewed nearly 10 years later is because I still talk about them online. Readers can discover you via social media at any time, as long as you are visible by being active. Prepare prior to the release. Ignoring hindsight. I would say one of the best ways to find reviews is to prepare prior to the release of a book. For my most recent release, Last Outlaw, which accumulated multiple written reviews and ratings very early on, I reached out to a nice-sized group of advanced readers. In all honesty, I could have asked way more people, but I still wanted someone to be out there to buy the book when it came out. Either way, those early reviews really helped that review count grow, and helped me get extra sales after release. Reach out after release. Going hand in hand with finding advanced readers who review is simply to reach out to potential reviewers after release, because like I always say, it is never too late for a book to find success. Book bloggers are always looking for more reads. Now they may have long TBR lists, but that list eventually ends. But don't hold me to that. The majority of books I review these days come from writers approaching me, and many of their titles are already released. A lot of bloggers will happily take a free digital copy in exchange for an honest review. That offer alone will entice someone to say yes, because that's exactly what I do. List your books on multiple reader spaces. From Goodreads to BookBub, there are several spaces online to list your books. And the simple factor of quantity comes into play here, because the more places your books are listed, the more chances your readers will see and then review them. There are plenty of readers I know who only leave reviews via Goodreads, so it's important for me to have my books listed there. Some book promo sites even have this feature. High-end advertising. Talking of book promo sites, I know that everyone might not have the privilege of having an advertising budget, but for those who do, it might be the right key to finding reviews. From experience, the likes of BookBub, Robin Reads, and eReader News Today are sites I would consider high-end. High-end on cost, but also high-end in terms of access to readers who review. Near enough every time I've paid for some higher or higher-end reputable book promotion, it has resulted in reviews. For many years I ran most of my promos at a loss, but even then reviews would eventually follow, meaning that my money was going somewhere. But books that have more reviews have a higher tendency of selling more when advertised, and most of the time now my book promos bring in a profit, or they even break even. Shifting books in quantity. The more people who pick up your book, quite simply, the more chance some of them will review it. Now that sounds logical, and for the most part it is. And I found that shifting books in large quantities results in a spike of reviews. I'm talking thousands of copies here. But how? With the help of a free promo, or some high-end advertising combined. I'm a big proprietor of the free promo, and this has led to some reviews eventually. Joining a review platform. For those who prefer not to spend money on direct advertising or promotion, you may have better luck joining a review platform. I know Readsy Discovery offer a service that isn't massively expensive, and as a reviewer, I've discovered some indie gems over the years on there. Success and reviews aren't guaranteed with them, but it may be worth a look. Kirkus are another name in the review platform world, but are rather expensive alongside NetGalley, but I have no experience with either. Lead by example. This is a long game, but seeing as I'm an indie author and my business is books, it felt like a natural fit to review indie books by fellow authors. I've been reviewing indie since 2018, and it is simply driven by knowing what it's like to struggle as an author. Plus, I enjoy reading. This isn't something I consider to be transactional, as my reading habits and tastes are kind of sporadic, but in turn, that has resulted in some awesome connections with fellow authors and a lot more. Some of that has resulted in reviews coming back my way, which I don't expect, but leading by example and contributing to the writing industry does. This over time has brought me a certain positive image online that has in turn helped spread the message that reviews are hard to find and they matter. Enjoy the journey. There was a time when I took on this whole writing and creative journey to simply explore and escape. Immersing myself into the creativity is what has always drawn me back to writing, and sometimes it's okay to forget about the whole struggle for sales, social media visibility, and of course reviews. I imagine you were the same and probably still are. Do this for the journey and try not to let the lack of anything else after the fact get to you. The reason I wrote and released 9 books in nearly a decade was to escape and enjoy the journey first and foremost. I hope this video has been useful, and I will reiterate that time is your friend here, authors. Keep going and keep chasing the words.